have a very tangible opportunity to shape the future of the planet into something better. In 2012, I was the first woman to ski across Antarctica alone. The day that the plane came to get me and pick me up, there was this little voice in my head that was saying, part of my reason for going was to find out where my limit was, how far could I push myself. And by succeeding, you could argue that I hadn't found that limit yet. You always are searching for more and the next question to answer. Most people are aware now of the idea of marine microplastics. But what has received less attention is airborne microplastics, the smaller bits of plastic being transported around the planet through the atmosphere. We know that it's reaching as far as the polar regions. There's all these questions that need answering. But it's now really apparent that maybe there's 5 years left to do this, because the sea ice of the Arctic Ocean, year on year, is disappearing in front of our eyes. If we're going to do this, we need to do it now. So I put together the big project, big standing for Before It's Gone, to collect information about high latitude Arctic Ocean sea ice for my own research project, but also feeding into larger citizen science projects. Our first attempt to get to the North Pole was due to be in April 2022, but just 3 weeks before we were due to fly out, we learnt that that flight was no longer possible because of the integrity of the ice. So instead we diverted to Svalbard, prepared for temperatures of minus 20 degrees centigrade. When we got there, we found temperatures hovering at around 0, and most days it rained. Things like our tents, they would get absolutely sodden, and then suddenly the temperature would plummet and everything was now completely frozen solid. It was a daily battle, but those samples are hugely valuable and create a really great comparison to the sea ice that we also hope to sample around the North Pole. Then the next year, we were due to fly out to the North Pole. We were yet again told that this was not going to be possible. We had to divert, and this time we went to the northernmost glacier in Iceland, a place called Drangajökull. We came round this corner, and I'm, holding my breath, thinking, what are we going to find as we get the first view of this valley? And we came round the corner, and I'll never forget it, because instead of seeing a snow-choked valley, I just saw grass. So we spent a day trying to get over grass, bog, rivers, just reaching the snow. When we got there, we made a full double traverse of this glacier and did a really good set of sample collections, looking at various snow characteristic data.
374.5.
Microplastics and black carbon, but also for heavy metals like lead. Then 2024, we planned to access Arctic Ocean sea ice via Arctic Canada. It was just a story of storm system after storm system after storm system, and it all came to a head, really, after we'd been out, mostly pinned down in our tent by storms for 6 days. And then on my daily contact call, I heard the news that they would have to come a day early to collect us. And we hadn't collected any of the science samples that we needed to get. So the whole mission was over, and it had been a total disaster. And I remember sitting in the tent talking to the team and just relaying this information. And then we noticed that the wind was dropping a little bit, and we had 17 hours until that plane was due to come and get us. So we just looked at each other and we went, right, let's just do what we can. So we got ready, we went out onto the sea ice as far as we could, and we started collecting the scientific samples that we needed, and we just worked solidly for 17 hours. We managed to get all the scientific samples that we had planned. We got it all done in that one huge marathon sprint at the end. After 4 years, it's extended to a 4-year project, but it's now a multi-year pan-Arctic project where we've been able to cover not one, but 3 different Arctic environments. We've collected around 350,000 millilitres of samples over the life history of the big expedition. Now we're analysing the samples to make the most of that hard work. We're now better equipped to be able to predict what the outcomes might be. I'm hugely proud of what we've achieved in the last 4 years, largely because of the difficulties that we faced and how we've managed to turn those into successes.